senior at Mission San Jose High School. So my project was home automation with Amazon Alexa, and my starter project was the TV Be Gone remote. So that's a small remote a small device that gives you the capability to turn off TVs within a certain radius. And that starter project, I don't have it here, but it taught me some basic skills such as soldering and working with circuits. And further on, I started my project with home automation with Amazon Alexa. Basically, I'm getting data values from a moisture sensor, which then gets transferred to a photon chip and finally goes to Amazon Alexa, in which I can ask it whether or not I need to water my plants. So I'll give it a quick demo right now. Alexa, open particle soil. What is the soil moisture?
The soil moisture is below 20%. Please water the plants.
So as you can see, the sensor is not exposed to any water or moisture. So because of that, it's telling me to water the plants. And now if I submerge it in a cup with water and a little bit of soil, it's going to tell me something else. So Alexa, open particle soil.
Welcome to Particle.
What is the soil moisture?
The soil moisture is above 70%, so we have too much water.
So since since this is a majority water and like almost no soil, it's telling me that there's too much water and I have to get rid of some of that water. So this project involved a lot of coding. It barely had any hardware except for soldering the bottom of the PCB. And a lot of coding that involved like JavaScript and C++. So the sensor was sending data values to the particle photon chip, which is a microcontroller that can connect to the Wi-Fi. So because it can connect to the Wi-Fi, I was able to send the data values to a cloud API, and I then transferred those data values to Amazon Alexa's API, which is called AWS Lambda. And over there, by asking Amazon Alexa certain phrases, it would be able to use those values and then it would spit back a phrase. Like as you saw, when it was below a certain value, it told me I need to water the plants. When it was above a certain value, it told me there was too much water. So future modifications that I plan to do on my own time is coming up with like an algorithm and using data that's already given that I have over time. To tell me when I need to water the plants in the future. So for example, if I ask it, Alexa, what's the soil moisture?
I wasn't able to understand.
So when I ask it, what's the soil moisture, it can tell me, you don't need to water the plants, but you can water in 3 days. So that way I know I can water in 3 days and I don't have to talk to it for a while. And then, and reflection, I think this course has really been helpful in letting me decide if I really wanted to pursue software engineering. I have some basic coding experience beforehand, but it let me work on an actual project, and I think that's something I do want to pursue. Thank you.
Questions?
Yes. Are there any questions? Yes.
So is that water moisture, is that for a certain type of plant or?
It's for any pot, so you can stick that to any pot that you're watering, and it should be able to tell you if it's too dry, if there's too much water, or if there's a good amount. So it's getting in the water, there's like a voltage value that's given to the sensor, and the sensor sends those values, and we set up a range for each phrase. Yes?
What is API?
So APIs are basically what each developers have for their own softwares, and it's what lets me communicate with the other program. For example, I have AWS Lambda here, and I have the cloud API for particle photon, and that's really what allows them to communicate and send details over Wi-Fi to each other.
So what is the algorithm you predict whether you need to water them or not?
Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to be able to get right now it's giving me data values every like 10 seconds, and I can change it by however many times I want it over a certain amount of time. So what I want to do is be able to take a record of all the data values and try to path it out. For example, if I water the plant on Monday, how long does it take before it runs out of water? And then based off of that, be able to use that as a general thing for that one plant. And then if I ask myself halfway through the week when it's half watered out, it'll tell me you have 2 more days left or something like that in the future. Yes, Robin?
What else can Alexa do for you?
Oh, I can ask it to do jokes and stuff. So Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why did the chicken cross the road halfway? She wanted to lay it on the line.
Yeah, so that's all Amazon Alexa stuff. But there's some really cool stuff you can do with Amazon Alexa that you can explore by yourself.
Yeah, my question is similar to Robin. So what kind of modification you want to do with this Alexa in the future?
Yeah, so that's just building up on this. That's really because I feel like a lot of people have plants growing at their homes. A lot of people like taking care of mini house gardens, and it's probably useful to get reminders on you don't just have to remember. You can just be like, oh, do I need to water the plants when you're cutting food at the kitchen or doing your homework? And then they'll say, yeah, you can water in 3 days, and I'm like, okay, cool. Wait till 3 days and water it. Yes?
How much is the photon chip?
So the chip itself is $19. This is relatively inexpensive, but Alexa is really, it's like $180. Yeah. All right, thank you guys.